Hey, I want to say thank y'all for tapping in with me. I am the ambassador. You're watching Street Ball Pro Live and Unscripted, and I got my man Max on here, or Maximus with me. Uh, I'm gonna let him introduce himself real quick, and then y'all know how we do. We're just gonna have a conversation and get to know what's going on, catch up with him. So, Max, introduce yourself, and then we're gonna get into it.
Hello, everybody. My name's Maximus Holliman. From Seattle, Washington. Went to West Seattle High School. Currently, am planning on going to Centralia Community College. Um, some things some of my goals in my life are to make it overseas. Get me a degree out of college for free. And so, yeah, here,
Okay.
here to make. You know,
Yeah, no. So Max, I had the pleasure. I can say I didn't coach against you, but I was on the girls' side when you were still at West Seattle, your senior year. So I had a chance to see you play at the high school level, and y'all was actually. How far did y'all was actually pretty good.
Yeah, we just made it to the first round. I remember
Yeah.
that year we lost to I think it was North Kitsap at Bellevue Community College. Yeah, we didn't make it to the Tacoma Dome quite yet, but yeah, first
Yeah,
round.
well, I mean, yeah, I had to say North Kitsap at that time. They were still, we call them. I forgot, man. The Mighty North was what I used to call them. They had a reign where, like, they was just conference title. Making it to state. Now Bremerton is is on the top out here now for us. But the Mighty North, I think at that time they had Harry Davis and Cade Ornez, who is now at Gonzaga. So I mean, they was tough.
They had a couple
So
pieces on their team. Yeah, swoop us right off our feet if I'm being honest. So
yeah,
hey,
no, I mean, hey, that's how it is, right? So
yes, sir.
man, tell me, um, I saw so. You're at Centralia, and this past year you played at Shoreline. That's
Correct.
correct. So, as a
Correct.
freshman, you played at Shoreline. So, let's talk about a little bit how your season went. You know what I mean? That transition from high school, West Seattle, to, JUCO. How did your first year go?
It went smoothly. Got out there, just got that first, college feel, almost you could say,
Yeah.
produced, went out there, gave it what I got. I had like a little injury halfway through ankle, rolled
Okay.
it real bad against Bellevue Community College. Yeah, put me out for a couple games, but got right back on my feet after that. Made it to playoffs.
Okay.
They haven't done that at Shoreline for like the past couple years. I know they were talking about that when I was over there. So we did that. Lost first round to Lower Columbia,
So,
but
okay.
yeah, they ended up winning it all.
Yeah.
So they were pretty
Yeah.
good.
I was about to say, yeah, Lord Columbia is tough. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if you're gonna lose it to the champs, right?
Hey, yeah, they were definitely contenders for it. Hey.
So, man, you play shooting guard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shooting guard for them. I played small forward for them.
Okay.
Even played a little bit of some power forward. When some people were out. But yeah, I stepped up to that position. But yeah, it's just mainly shooting guard though on the perimeter.
What did you learn in this season, getting ready to transition to your sophomore year and transfer? What did you learn? What are some of the things you learned?
You gotta be mentally strong. I've seen a lot of guys break. You know, during college season. It got too hard for them, and they couldn't do it no more. So like maybe like they left. For a little bit. Um, Main thing though is grades for sure.
Yeah.
Keeping your grades up. That's the main thing. You don't want to fall behind because then you're ineligible. You miss games.
Yeah.
That's not a position you want to be in. Um, most importantly though, for the community college level, I've seen it's endurance, like being able to last the whole game. You know, a lot
Okay.
of guys get tired, they break mentally in the game. You know, I've seen it. I've seen it plenty of times during the season. So that's one of the main things. Yeah, it's just being mentally strong and being able to last out there for sure.
Okay. No, I mean, I played a couple of years at JUCO. I played at out here at OC back
Hmm.
in the day, and so like you mentioned grades, right? That's one of the things, you know. And you get
Yeah,
about
it gets a lot.
halfway, yep, and now they're gone, and now you're like,
Yeah,
oh, where's my team, right?
yeah.
And that's the thing too, because it's not like in a sense high school where you can make up everything at the last minute or all these
Nope,
crazy, yeah, right.
not
You
like
got
that at
it.
all. Better get that work in on time for
Yes,
sure.
right.
Yeah.
It's accountability. You know, you gotta get your work done on top of the fact that you got all of these practices, the games, road games. You know,
Mm-hmm.
especially like I said, JUCO. You're traveling 2, 3 hours sometimes
Mm-hmm.
on in the van and getting back late and all this crazy stuff. And it's not like they're saying, "Oh, it's okay." No, they still your
Yeah,
assignments
you
got to be
still
done.
are expected to get that work in on time unless you got a real good excuse to that teacher, you know. But hey, not a lot of guys got that one. So
And that's I mean a good thing, like you say, to learn and to take on with you. So how did you end up getting to Centralia? I mean, from Shoreline to Centralia, how did that happen?
yeah, it was, that's a pretty big move, but my old high school, like, how do I my old like high school theater coach
Okay,
connected me with him after the season, a little bit after the season, and I've just been talking to him. Went to a couple open gyms out there, and it just seems like real good program where I could build on myself, build on
okay,
character, build my career, enhance my game, and get me to the next level. So, yeah, I just got in contact with him through my old feeder head coach, though. Yeah,
okay. Yeah,
I
no, I
definitely
mean, I
like.
think that's one of the things uh folks got to understand about the game. You got to find the system that works for you,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And that's the biggest part of it, especially and at the JUCO level, because you only got 2 years, right? You got 2 years to convince and get your name out there, get your stats, do whatever you got to do to continue to move on to the next level, right? Especially if you have a desire, I mean, to play at the pro level. And
Hmm.
so it's important to find a school and a system that fit you on as a player on and off the court. And so that's what it sounds like that you found with Centralia. Will you be playing? What position will you be playing with them?
They're going to be having me play shooting guard again. Some shooting guard. Helping bring the ball up. Shooting some shots. Facilitating that rock. Maybe some small forward action. I can
Okay.
get down with some of that a little bit. So yeah,
Well, I mean, you got nice size. You what, 6'5", right?
yeah, 6'5". Yeah, 6'5". Can handle that rock for sure, like a point guard though.
Yeah, no, that's the good part about me. You got good size, you got a handle, you can shoot, that's the play defense, all that the tweener,
That's the main
right?
part. Yeah, defense for sure. Yeah.
It is. That's one of the things that I mean, right now, I do coach at the high school and I try to get, I mean, just players as a whole, but especially my players in high school that want to continue to keep going. I'm like, defense, trust me, if you play defense, right? Everybody want to
Hmm.
shoot. Nobody want to play defense. You play
Yeah.
defense, that's going to get you a lot further than you just thinking you're going to put the ball in the hole because there's so many cats that can really get buckets, but a lot of
Yeah.
folks can't really
A
play
lot of guys
defense.
can't stop the man in front of them.
Yep.
Got to be able to stop the man in front of you to win a game. So,
Yeah, no, and I agree. And so that's a good thing that I like. Well, I mean, I know one of the things your uncle, Eric Thomas, right? So he's somebody that played for me back when I was coaching in the pro-am. So he's a bucket. He
Yeah, I
played.
remember watching that as a kid. I remember that. Seeing him go out there, go get a bucket and get a stop on defense.
Yep.
That was fun to watch as a kid.
And so, I mean, it's definitely in your DNA, right? Your family, your dad, your uncle, were just straight play both sides of the court or of the ball, right? Which is major. And that's one of the things that honestly I'm excited about too, that I get to coach you and your uncle, for the Zeke end. That's going to be fun, just to have both of you all and just be on the biggest stage, because that's we know is one of the biggest stages we have in Washington, hands down, with all the best players, and it's the last one, right? That the IT is going to have, and so I think that's going to be cool for you to play with your uncle. You know what I
I'm
mean?
excited. I'm excited for sure. Get to play with him out there. First time playing in this, so a new experience. But hey, nothing new for real. So super excited about that for sure.
So once you leave Centralia, right? I mean, what is your goals? I know you said you want to play overseas. Are you looking to play I'm sure at a 4 year, or are you looking to
Yeah.
try to make that?
Um. After community college, I want to see how far I can get off. It's like to a 4 year. Like you just said. I want to
Yeah,
see if I can get to maybe D2.
yeah,
D1 if I'm blessed by God. um, and try to get that education for free first. Get that degree
right.
paid off. Ain't got to pay a dime for that. But then after that 4 year, definitely try to get overseas. Connect with my uncle, make me a living out there, or as long as I can. But yeah.
What are you degree are you going
Oh,
after?
business marketing. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
pursuing business marketing. Yeah,
okay,
yeah, taking it after
okay.
my grandpa.
All right, so that means I can call on you, you know what I
Oh
mean, to
yeah,
get
oh yeah,
advice and help,
yeah. I
the
get you
next
right.
generation up, where I can say, hey, I'm still trying to stay relevant. I'm still trying to grow the brand, and that's
Yeah.
what you're gonna have a degree in.
Yeah,
See, folks
tap in
don't
with
understand.
me. Yeah,
Right, you
tap
know what I
in.
mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so people don't understand the importance of relationships. See, this
hmm
is we're putting them on right now. We're letting them
yeah.
know this is the thing about relationships. Build great relationships, and down the road it's gonna come back. Trust me, you
It
know.
will pay off. Yes.
Yes. So what are some, thinking about your game, right? What are some of the things you feel that you need to improve?
Some of the things I need to improve in my game is, I would say, my 3 point shot. If I'm being honest,
Okay.
um, it's a little inconsistent. I need to be able to get to it off the dribble more. Playing for this first year going into college, I kind of lost that a little bit. If
Okay.
I'm being honest, lost that off the dribble, pull up, or cross somebody over, super nice 3 pointer from deep, missed it. So I feel like that's for sure. I gotta be able to shoot off the dribble more, for sure. Yeah, and shoot, hmm, I would say that's it.
That's it. Who are you? Who do you train with? Who do you work with in the off
Oh,
season?
I'll be going into my college. Like just now, I was at Shoreline, just training with them. But
Okay.
also that's just like on my craft, like basketball wise. But I'm also just be outside every day, go to a court outside for a
Okay.
couple hours. A couple times a day, go out to a court, dribble, work on my craft, shoot. But body wise, lifting, vertical. I'll be going to this place in Bellevue. I forgot the name,
Okay.
but it's like right off the like Factoria exit,
Yeah.
and it's like this like nice little facility. NFL players be going there, NBA players be popping by, and it's just like a place that you like work on like lifting, like acceleration, vertical. They cover all that, and they like I do it twice a week. Yeah, they get me right for sure. I've been doing that for a couple years. I've been there for like 4 or 5 years now.
Wow.
Started since high school. Yeah, I started like sophomore year in high school, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I think and that's, important, especially for the young folks who hear the interview and they want to figure out how to play at the next level, understanding in the off season the kind of work that is needed,
Yeah.
right,
You got to
to play
maintain it.
at that high level. And you're saying that, I mean, from West Seattle, and I mean that's the Metro League,
Hmm.
right? So being able to just maintain there, and there's a lot of dogs I already know I've seen and coach some of them, as adults and things like that from out of there, that you have to just stay on top of it, and then transition. And now you're going down the JUCO route, which is it's a dog, like a dog fight,
Yeah, it's a
right?
dog eat world for real. You gotta have that killer mentality.
You really do. And so I don't think people understand that. But I think the other part too, right? Folks get so caught up on the different just levels, which when you understand that how many people just actually play college basketball, let alone say D1, D2, JUCO, you know what I mean? Just
Hmm.
that there's a small number who even just play college basketball. So to be able to get your foot into the door, and that's sort of like the pro world. You start at maybe a low entry and then you work your way up. And so to get into JUCO, do your thing, go to another one, then continue to move on. And along the way, what I love your mindset is about getting a degree. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? A
Yeah.
lot of a lot of folks are just like, oh, I'm just trying to play pro ball. I'm just trying to play pro ball. You know what I mean? And not really
Yeah.
focusing on the fact that you get a free degree in this.
Yeah, if you do it right, yeah, for sure, you get that free degree. That sets you up for life alone. If you know what to
Yeah.
do with it, though, you got to know what to do with that.
So once you get your degree, what are your plans? Like, what are
Oh,
your
yeah,
ideas?
if I find myself, not being able to go overseas, but I find a degree, I'm gonna set up a little like a website or like a little business with the help of my grandpa, and I'm a just business market for other businesses. Help other businesses grow. Um, yeah, that's just the start of it, though. That's just the tip of the iceberg. You know, but
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not
I
trying to
mean,
put all my eggs in that basket. But yeah, that's definitely the start work. You know.
yeah, no, like I said, I mean, even if you do go overseas, I would recommend, because I'm being an entrepreneur and being able to have your own, begin to take time, take resources, and begin to build it. You know what I mean? While
Hmm.
you're overseas, and that's one of the things I try to help with players is understanding you all we're brands. Right. So as a brand, you got
Yeah.
to create that brand, and with a marketing background, you know what I mean, being able
Yeah.
to promote and get yourself out there. I think that's important. And so that's the mindset as you continue to pursue your degree. That's a little, I guess, words of wisdom or tips I give to you as you begin to continue to pursue your degree and play basketball. Begin to think of your brand. Who is
Hmm.
Max? Right?
Yeah. What is my image? Yeah.
Right. Because you got the NIL deal, man. You get the right NIL, you
You set
right.
up just right there for real. If we're being honest.
And
So
so,
yeah.
so you start to think like that. Even now as you're going through the journey or the process of going overseas, you begin to say, and that's the beauty of how it is now, where I was working with some other players in Seattle, where I'm telling them the game has changed a lot. Like I started 13 years ago in the business, and you think about how the game has changed now. Players like yourself, millionaire, you know what I mean?
Millionaires before they even leave college.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So
So
yeah.
it's being able to understand how the game work and begin to really maximize the relationships. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
Understanding the business, because that's one thing that as a player, you
It's a
y'all have
business.
to. Yes,
Yeah, it's a
yes,
business. Like you might be playing basketball, but this is a business. You got to make decisions for yourself and what
yep.
best for you and your future that you see.
I agree. And that's the thing too. And that's a part of it. And I can understand when we start talking about like transferring or going to different places, you got to find what fits you, right? As a player and as a person, the system that works best for you because it is a business. Because on the business side, just like a boss, we're going to, make whatever decision as a coach or whatever. You don't fit what I'm
If
trying to
you ain't
do.
doing good, you're out of here. Just like that.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's how it is overseas. I've heard, you drop, 30 points one game and you get 8, you're done. You're out of there. Just because you did good that one game, now you got to do it. That's your image, that's your brand over there now. Now you got to do that.
No,
So yeah,
and that's real talk. It really is like that. Is I mean, you can say cutthroat is business, and you got to think about there's so many players that are, in line. Hey, I want that job. I want that
mm-hmm.
position. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? And so being able to do like what you said is just stay on top of as far as grades. Being have good character, integrity is a lot of stuff. Just maintaining and making sure that is in the forefront, playing both sides of the ball. You know what I mean? So it's a
yeah,
lot that really goes into it, and that players don't understand. And so that's one of the good things. You've been, how old are you? What, like 20, 20?
yeah. I'm just 20. Yeah, fresh 20.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, being young and having that mindset that you do, that's great because you're ahead of the game. You're already thinking, you know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
This is a
Yeah,
business. So it's a business. I got to operate and I got to, make sure I carry myself a certain kind of way, or I got to think like this. And, because a lot of times players just in the moment, right? Let me just kick it. Let me do this. Let me do that. Then all of a sudden,
yeah,
once it's gone, it's not guaranteed that you're gonna get
yeah.
that
You're
chance
not getting
again.
it back. Yeah.
Right.
Once you're there and you slip up, you might not get back there. You might not get that same opportunity. Now you might have to take another route to get that same opportunity that you had before, and it might be even harder. So
That's true.
you
That's
gotta
true.
you gotta make it last while you're there, and just don't hold nothing back for real.
Right. So, what is one of your in this past season most memorable moments in your freshman year?
Most memorable moments. If I'm being honest, it wasn't me like hitting a shot. It was me. It was okay. So it was the final game to go into NWACS. Final game to go into NWACS. Shoreline hasn't been in like I think they said like 6 5 years they haven't made it to NWACS
Wow.
or something like that. It's been a minute for them, but
Okay.
we're coming down the court. Play set up, loose ball. I chase after it, get the ball, dribble to the middle of the court, pass it to my man, Sherelle McCollum. He hits a shot, game time. Everybody runs on the court. Crazy. Make NWACS just like that. Just like that. Yes. And that just, you know, seeing that and seeing everybody come together like that and having us go into the NWACS, continue our season because, he could have missed that shot. And, I'm looking around, I'm seeing the other players on the ground, they're hurt. They're crying. That was their last
Yeah.
year playing,
Yeah.
they're done. And so, he could have missed that. So that's just a huge, memory for me,
Now that is a, like I said, in a sense making history because they had been. Now y'all get to go. Do something that hadn't been done in almost like say 5 6 years. Those are moments I still hold on to, like from high school and different eras. Because like your senior year, I was on the girl side. That was a situation for us. You know what I mean? We hadn't been the state in I don't know how many years, and probably like some maybe 5 6 years, something like that. And so we made it to state. We were just trying to get into the playoffs, just like, okay, can we get there? And we end up uh finishing. I mean, we lost to you all, West Seattle put us out of it, but for us, it was a situation that, man, it was a great ride. We made it to state. We got these memories that the team, the coaches, the young ladies will always remember. And that's something like for you where you say, man, that's something that I can take away and I was a part of. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Hmm.
now going to Centralia, I want to surpass that feeling. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
want to
I
get
want to
back
make it
there.
farther than the first one. Yeah.
Right.
I want to get back there. You know. Yeah.
So what is the roster? I mean, I have to actually come out and check y'all out. How do you feel like you
Yeah.
already
It
got your
fits.
team?
Yeah. I'm feeling like we're gonna be definitely some contenders. They were like 3-11 last year,
Okay.
but that don't mean nothing. This Coach Joe, been treating me right.
Right.
Been running the open gyms, super well, super smooth. Got good competition coming in and out. I seen some of his recruits looking good. So, I feel like we're definitely gonna have a nice little roster. Be some contenders for NWACS for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure.
definitely gonna have to check it out. I know Central is OC because I know it's different conference. I have to
Yeah,
see it.
I know Shoreline's in the north. I think we're in the south.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in the south. Yeah.
Okay. Because that's what I was like.
I've heard it's a little harder, but I heard that North was harder last year, so it might just be when you're on each side to say it's harder. So
Right. So I'm gonna have to come out. Well, Centralia South. I have to look at the schedule and get out to a game and
hmm
see what you do this year. You know,
yeah.
uh, is so you're saying you're looking to go to a 4 year. Is there any 4 year colleges that you have reached out to yet?
Um, no, I haven't reached out to any that sent me back, but you
Okay.
know, still ain't no closed doors for real.
Right.
Always plenty of opportunity for sure out there in the world for me to get at, and another year under my belt, I can definitely make something happen. Make some noise for myself. You know, the main
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
is getting somewhere that they'll pay for my degree. It don't matter where it is. It don't matter where. But hey, if I get my degree, I'm there. So
Right.
yeah,
Hey, no, I feel you on that. You know, that's just how it is. So, hey, coaches, y'all listening, right? You got 1 more year, you have 2 more years, 6'5", 6'6", guard forward, tweener can handle. So, that's my thing. I'm always trying to promote players, especially if I feel like they got a little game on them. I'm like, all right, hey, I think they can play. And so, definitely we're gonna have to. Well, we're gonna. I'm gonna get a chance to coach
yeah, we
you
gonna see
this
during
summer.
the weekend. Hey, we
Right.
gonna see. We gonna see. I got you. I got you. Got you.
So, I get to actually see you, coach you, and do those things, and definitely on the back end, want to be able to help you continue on to the next level, and eventually, I know your uncles are already overseas, your
Yeah,
dad, your family got connections already as well. So that's a great plug for you. But love to that's gonna be, I think, fun for me to see, uncle and nephew playing together, that I can say I can put in my little book, okay, I've done that now. You know what I mean? Hey,
yeah.
uh, put that, I've coached this person, I coached that person, because I remember coaching your uncle, like you said, and it's crazy for you to remember because, like you said, you was younger
Yeah,
to
I was a
coach him.
youngin back then. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I watched y'all play.
yeah,
I remember y'all played. I remember the game vividly. Y'all played Isaiah Thomas's team in the tournament, and I
yep.
think you guys beat them. I think you guys
And
beat them that year, maybe.
the pro am.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the pro am. Yeah,
yeah. That
no,
game
and
was.
that's what I'm saying. That was one of the things because I remember I'm about to say. Yeah, I'm about to say. I think it was your dad, and your
They were
aunt. That
chatting out there. They was
yeah.
chatting. Yeah, they was going at it.
it
I remember
was
that.
They told me about him, your uncle, and I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? And he got off. That was the
Yeah.
first time I had a chance to see him play. I'm like, yo, he can go. You know what I mean? And ever since, I was like, yep, boom, he's on my squad. And so it's pretty, like, it's humbling to be, because that was some years ago.
Yeah, that
Now,
was like like 10,
Yeah,
11?
that's
It was a minute
that's what I'm
ago.
saying. It's been a good minute
Yeah.
since it. I had a chance to coach him back in the pro am. So now he's on a whole nother level because he's been playing overseas.
Hmm.
You know what I mean, and doing his thing, and so he's a lot more mature and older and just wiser. So it's going to be fun to be able to coach him and to coach even now even for yourself because you're not a little high school kid now. You know what I mean? Now
Yep.
you
Yep.
at that where you on the college level and you have a desire, you have a goal that you want to meet. And so this is a part of your journey because once again, a lot of people don't get to say they played in the Zeke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
And
definitely a blessing for sure.
yeah, so that's something that's humbling to be able to provide that opportunity and to actually watch you get off and put that in your memory book of
Hmm.
saying, hey, here's a check mark. I've done this, I've done that, which now as you continue on your journey to play overseas, man, if I played here, there's no reason why I can't play here. You know
Yep.
what I mean? If I
Hmm.
did that and I know I've held my own over here, I definitely can hold my
And
own
why
over
can't I
there.
go, do this over there,
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I agree. Man, so what school is out now,
Yeah,
right?
it's been done, ended last week. Um,
Okay.
yeah, it ended pretty recently. Yeah.
So
Last
just
Yeah.
okay. Man, yeah, I've been out of school so long. I mean, I like I'm trying to think OC. I was in college because I went to OC, then I ended up going to NAIA school before I played for the Seattle Mountaineers and Tacoma Jazz. I started playing, you know what I mean, with all the big dogs in the different areas around here. Had to earn your stripes with playing and holding your own out there. So I've been blessed to play on that level and now be on the back end as a coach and owner and hold my own. So this has been great. Hey, how can people follow you?
Oh,
Or
follow me on IG, Maximus.Holliman, you feel me? Go give that a little, love. Tap in with me. Gonna be posting on there soon.
yeah, gotta let people, you know what I mean, keep your highlights, whatever it is. Like I said, you're a brand, you know what I mean? And as they say, get to the bag, you gotta show why they need to give you a bag to do what, who are you, you know what I mean? And so uh begin to make sure you highlight because I want to continue to watch your journey because I've seen you in high school now. I get to see you in college. We'll see, of course, this Zeke, and I want to see you
Yeah,
continue
getting
all
ready
the
to
way.
make a little name for myself. Getting to that part of my career, where I got to a little bit. So yeah.
Yeah, you have to if you want to play at that next level. You got to get their attention. You know what I
You gotta get it
mean?
somehow.
Right, right.
Mhm.
And so it's like, hey, you know what I mean? Like I said, you have a nice size. That's like I said, 6'5". That that's a.
Yeah, I can do something with that. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Oh, you right-handed or left?
Oh, I'm right-handed. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
But
okay. I'm about to say,
they can do
and
everything with
then
the left still, though.
yeah. He said, I can make it happen. You know what I mean? Okay. Trying to think. So, what word of advice would you, uh, now I would say leave for the younger folks, or even say who you are now, you would give to the younger you. You know what I mean?
I would tell my younger self, keep doing what you're doing and work harder because there's always somebody behind you working harder than you is right now.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And so, with that same mindset, hey, we gonna have to. I'm gonna have to hit your dad, hit you up. We're gonna have to get in the gym. You know what
Yep.
I mean? Get a workout, so I can see what you're looking like. Like you said, you want to work on that
Yeah,
pull
little
up.
pull up jumper,
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Yeah. Yeah,
I pride myself. That's one thing, not just develop a shooting coach type thing. So we're gonna have to link up so I can see
yeah,
what it is that you got going. Give you a couple of drills to do, just on your own since you do a lot of workout. But definitely, man, I want to say thank you for making the time to jump on with me. And
yeah. No
even
problem, man. Hey, I'm more grateful. Hey, thank you for giving me this opportunity to go out here on the Zcan. Like what we said earlier. Not a lot of people get to do this, so just want to make sure that I'm grateful. So thank you.
oh, anytime, you know what I mean? Y'all family, you know what I mean? Your dad, we go back and your uncle, so you like a nephew, you know what I mean? Like I said, you didn't watch your uncle play for me and all of that, and so that's why it's very humbling to be able to coach you and to even have you on the podcast because I'm really big about showcasing and helping those who may not get the same opportunities as others. So I go back and look at my own self. I wasn't that D1, player, so I didn't get the same accolades, and so I had to go through a different grind. Right, and
Yep.
that's like what you're doing. I had to go to JUCO. I went to NAIA before I finally got to, you can say, semi-pro minor leagues where I was getting paid, where I played with the D Watts and the Rashad Powell, all the big names. It took me, I had to go
Yeah.
up that, right, you know what I mean, and earn those stripes before I was able to get on the court with these guys. And they, big brother, begin to teach and pour into me and help
Yeah.
me,
Gave you
all
the
the way
knowledge that they
around.
already had. Yeah.
Right, you know what I mean? And so that's how I look at my platforms that I have where I'm like, hey, if I can help someone who has a hunger, has ability, they just need that resource or they need that opportunity. Man, let me showcase. And so that's what this is all about. Is saying, here's a young man I believe that can play if he has the opportunity. I co-sign and say, all right, let's rock out. You know what I mean? Because that's what we in. We're in a dog fight when we step on that
Yeah.
course, and who's gonna win? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'm like, I put my money on him. So hey, it's a privilege and an honor to continue to build with you and to watch you grow and to the young man that, man, your folks have done an amazing job in raising you. So you
Hey, thank
continue
you.
to. You're welcome to stay focused. You know what I
Yep,
mean?
I
I
will
know
for sure.
July, August. Shoot, it's almost July. It's gonna be like in about a month, and I think we got about 5 weeks, and then it's actually Zeke in. It's gonna be here real fast.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, we
uh,
gonna be ready for them though, for sure.
oh yeah, no, no, we've definitely got a squad coming. We coming. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's gonna be one of those where. Hey, if y'all beat us, you gonna know you was in a fight. You know what I mean? It ain't
It
gonna be
won't be
no.
by much.
Right, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So that's the part that I love about what we got going on. But hey man, definitely give your family my love and we're gonna
Yep.
talk. Let's connect before this weekend, like I said, because I do want to get in the gym with you and what I mean, do a
Yep.
workout, check you out.
I
Because
got
like I
you. I
said,
got you.
any of those things will help you be able to get connected to along the path because there's other coaches, you know what I mean, what's next and my resources is your resources. So,
Yep.
you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
hey, I want to thank everybody for taking the time for tapping in with your boy, the ambassador on True Ball the Pro. Man, let me see. This weekend I will be at Proving Ground. Uh, Josh Joseph, 1v1. I think it's Pacific Northwest Elite. They got his first 1v1. So I'll be on the street ball side at the 1v1 event. I think it's in Federal Way. You tap in. I'll definitely be going live. I'll be doing interviews, all that stuff. So and then I have to see if we're gonna be on for the unit on Sunday. But until then, definitely I want to say thank everybody, all our the supporters, sponsors, fans, everybody who showed love for me and my family. Until next time, I'm the ambassador. This is my man Max, and we're gonna get back at y'all soon. All right, my man.
Yep.